Israeli strikes in Palestinian territory has killed more than 24 Palestinians on Wednesday, according to local officials. They say an Israeli strike killed 5 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and at least 20 people, including 16 women and children, killed in the Gaza Strip. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports key leaders have arrived in Kyiv for three-way talks over Western support for Ukraine.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and British Foreign Secretary David Lammy board a train at the Poland-Ukrainian border, the overland route to Kyiv. The joint visit to talk with President Volodymyr Zelensky and senior Ukrainian officials comes as Kyiv presses the West to allow it to use long-range missiles against Russia. The US consulate in Poland said the meeting will include discussions on continued support for Ukraine's defence against Russian aggression and how to ensure Ukraine can thrive militarily, economically and democratically in the long term. Afterwards, Blinken will return to Poland, where he'll meet with government officials to discuss a range of important bilateral issues. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The U.S. is remembering lives taken and others reshaped by 9/11. In an AP interview, Clifford Shannon with the 9/11 Memorial says that while many elected officials attend, they do not participate in the main ceremony.
The way this has gone since the inception of the annual commemoration has been simply the reading of the names. And many elected officials over the years have come and they have attended during these names readings. But that is the core of the event. The listing, which takes as much as 4 hours, of all of the people who were killed in the terrorist attacks. And that is the focal point of what we do. And the names are read by family members each year.
September 11th is the day when the hijacked plane attacks killed nearly 3,000 people in New York, the Pentagon, and Pennsylvania in 2001. This is VOA News. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Meghani reports that both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are upbeat after their debate performances.
Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump say they're pleased after their first and perhaps only debate in the spin room.
This was my best debate. I thought it was very good.
And with supporters.
I think that we think today was a good day.
Harris set the tone off the bat, introducing herself to Trump since they'd never actually met. Her performance seemed the opposite of President Biden's in June, when he was halting and at times incoherent, looking on blankly as Trump attacked him. Harris's answers were sharp and focused, and she used body language and facial expressions to confront Trump, and at times simply laughed at his answers. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Despite massive protests and unrest, Mexico's Senate is moving forward with the controversial judicial overhaul system proposed by the country's outgoing president. Reuters correspondent Sean Hogan.
Mexico's Senate gave the green light to a controversial judicial overhaul early on Wednesday at a different location after protesters broke into the chamber mid-session. Demonstrators forced their way into the Senate building, intensifying weeks of protests against the reform, which critics argue could threaten the country's rule of law. Proposed by the outgoing president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, the reform calls for the election by popular vote of more than 6,500 judges and magistrates and reduces the number of Supreme Court justices from 11 to 9, with shorter terms and decreased work experience requirements.
Hurricane Francine is barreling toward the state of Louisiana and an expected landfall amid forecasts of a potentially deadly storm surge, destructive winds, and widespread flooding. It reached Category 1 hurricane status on Tuesday night after gaining strength from warm Gulf waters. The National Hurricane Center says that Francine might even reach Category 2 strength with winds of up to 96 to 110 miles per hour before landfall Wednesday afternoon or evening. Louisiana's governor warned residents to complete last storm preparations before a 24-hour window closed and not rush outside after the hurricane's landfall. Hurricane warning is in effect from the Louisiana border with Texas eastward to Grand Isle, about 50 miles south of New Orleans. And Cameroon's former prime minister has taken over the presidency of the UN General Assembly and called for nations to unite and to address global challenges. Philemon Yang told the 193 world body that it could be done.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.